Right, good morning, welcome. I know some of you have come a very long way, so I'm going to take no more than 10 minutes just to take you through a brief introduction to AdSmart. There's three things I hope you take from this. One is that television's in a really good place, that things are pretty exciting at Sky, and that AdSmart, which this week, in fact 2 nights ago, won a Royal Television Society Award for Design and Innovation, could be the piece of the marketing mix that you're missing. An interesting sort of development in our world is that last October Sky was bought for £27 billion. And I think there's one thing to take from that is that you don't spend £27 billion, which is what Comcast, NBC, Universal did, on something unless you think it's going that way. And it's a really great vote of confidence in the health of commercial television in the UK and Europe. And there's a couple of things that unite Comcast and Sky. We're both committed to connecting our customers to content that they love, and we're also committed to making sure that all of our customers, our advertising customers, benefit from a brand-safe environment. It's really important. And I think perhaps what we've been guilty of in the past is not really reminding people about the real core strengths of television per se. It's a big screen medium, not quite as big as this, but screens in most people's homes are getting bigger year in, year out, and we're delivering ads full screen in high definition. The advertising to editorial ratio is smallest on Sky compared to ITV and Channel 4, but much smaller than the digital environment. All of our customers are real. You don't have a Sky subscription unless you're actually intending to watch it. We don't have the questionable number of fake accounts that other digital video platforms have. We've talked about brand safety, and I'll come back to that. And perhaps most importantly, we're setting the bar on viewability, on how much of an ad you need your customers to see before you've got to pay for that privilege. And in our case, in a 30-second ad, it's over 22 seconds before it's chargeable. 75% has to be seen. So what we're trying to sort of say to the ad market is, look, not all impressions are equal. They may still add up, but on television, full screen, much higher viewability threshold, the impressions we're delivering are far more impactful. So just to touch briefly on the backdrop to what's happened to the way television is performing in the UK. And the way we viewed has changed a lot in the last 10 years. And there's a couple of things that might surprise you from this graph. Here we are from 2008 to 2018. Live TV's declined a bit, still massive. Catch-up services, iPlayer, ITV, Channel 4, Sky's catch-up services is significant, and then it's supplemented by over-the-top services like Netflix. And the first, I think, most significant point is that overall viewing over that period has increased. And it sort of makes sense, because TV is great. They're brilliant box sets that there weren't 20 years ago. Netflix make amazing content. The BBC are performing brilliantly. And all in all, television is a really healthy environment. But when we come to advertising, we know that the average viewer in the UK watches over 4 hours of video every day across all devices. And the important thing is how much of that is on a television screen and how much of that, the ad content within that, are people actually seeing. Now, if you strip out content you can't advertise in, like Netflix and the BBC, and content you wouldn't want to advertise in, you end up with a picture that looks like this. There's the 20 minutes of ad viewing, and the stunning fact is that 94% of it is on a television screen, yet everyone is fighting over that very small window of opportunity to present video ads on smaller screens. So it's in really rude health. So against that backdrop, exciting times at Sky, TV going great. Where does addressable TV fit in? And rather than trying to explain it myself, if any of you have caught Sky Sports News over the last 20 years, you might recognise this chap who can explain it better than I can.
Some exciting news just in for advertisers. AdSmart from Sky has now signed over 1,000 local and growing businesses just like yours to advertise in world-class content. And now you can join the club. More and more brands are making the big transfer into addressable TV through AdSmart. Businesses of all shapes and sizes are benefiting from the unrivaled advertising impact of TV, speaking just to the homes that matter to them. And it's for a lot less than you might think. Premier League impact for lower league budgets. Nothing lands a new idea with more power and impact than TV. So, if you could advertise only to the people that matter to your business and only pay when those ads are seen, well, that would be a good result, wouldn't it? Whether that idea is to get people to buy your product, visit your store, or begin a journey of discovery before buying online, TV has an unassailable ability to drive both fame and sales. To start your rise to the top of the table, visit AdSmart from sky.co.uk.
So we're grateful to Jim for that. Not so grateful we'll see it again. As Beth said, AdSmart is the best of both worlds. It's the best of TV and the best of digital combined. We've been running the AdSmart project since 2014. Since then, we've worked with actually over 2,000 advertisers. 3/4 of them had never used TV before because it was either too big or too expensive or not sufficiently targeted. And almost 3/4 of them have all come back for multiple campaigns. And of course, that includes plenty this year who've only had a chance to run once with us. There's big brands in there that are using AdSmart to supplement their conventional linear ad TV campaigns and all their other media, and there's plenty of niche new brands that have used it for the first time because the entry point for this product is £3,000. Our average is around about 10, and we scale all the way up to $1 million plus. It's built on 4 things that Sky's uniquely placed to offer. The first is scale, the second is some amazing content, and you saw that at the beginning, some really clever technology, and then tons and tons of data. The scale piece is interesting because we've just transitioned from about 30% of all UK households to over 40% because we've added the Virgin network, which is a huge breakthrough. 3.5 million of the 4.5 million Virgin homes are now part of the AdSmart platform. And then next year and beyond, we start adding even more households, principally through Now TV, Sky's own over-the-top service, and others. So the only way is up in terms of scale. The interesting bit is the data piece. We've got a really rich, detailed profile of every single household where we have some first-party data that we can use, but we've bought third-party data from people like Experian and dunnhumby and MasterCard and then embedded that at household level that gives us that ability to target in a way that TV never has before. In terms of how it works, essentially we send the ad to the box. It sits in the box doing nothing, waiting for an opportunity to be served and presented full screen, perfectly superimposed over the ad that would otherwise have been seen. And essentially, everyone understands what national TV is. If we're all watching the same show at the same time, we'll see the same ads, and you can get how regional TV works. This is addressable TV, so in really simplistic terms, and forgive me for the basic graphic here, but if you're a car advertiser and you only want to advertise to people who own or buy cars, then in this imaginary street of Sky customers, if they were watching the same content, they would see different ads in a particular break. Of course, this is pointless unless there's some amazing content to appear in, and that film that we saw at the beginning is showing you the vast breadth and depth of content that Sky produce. And we spend £6.5 billion a year making sure there's always something that our customers want to watch. 4.5 of that is in the UK, the rest is in Europe, and of that 4.5, half is sport and the other half is drama and entertainment. And it's not a case of thinking, well, I think my customers might watch this. It's what are my customers' profile? Whatever they choose to watch, they will now see my ad in whatever content they value. And if they don't see it, you don't pay for them. So that means your ad appears in over 100 different channels, all the Sky wholly owned channels as you'd expect, but plenty of others, including Channel 5, all of the Viacom channels, Discovery, Nat Geo, etc. And in 2021, we'll add Channel 4 and all of their third-party channel partners as well. The targeting piece is actually a really fun process to go through. We've taken our audience of about 10 million households and we've segmented it 1,200 different ways, and you can pick and choose pretty much any combination of those 1,200, which we've grouped into these sort of 10 buckets. Experian Mosaic is probably the most popular, the most robust. Experian have 500 data points for every single household, and we can supplement that with information on finance and vehicle ownership and category purchase and whether they own their house and so on and so forth. And then we can apply some geo-targeting, which might be national, or it might be macro-regional, but it's increasingly far more niche than that. It's postcode or local authority. And even when that doesn't work, we can create bespoke geo-targeting maps to suit any advertiser's specific needs. I mentioned viewability beforehand, and just to remind you that no one's paying for anything unless 3/4 of the ad has been seen. Once that threshold's met, the box scoots backwards and just checks that there was some sort of interactivity beforehand so that we can validate that somebody was there. We collect data from 500,000 households, and we extrapolate that out to produce our viewing and impression delivery reports. and trying to emulate what Facebook and Google do brilliantly, which is give you lots of data, is AdSmart Analytics, which produces reports of this nature. So this is a brilliant digital advertising platform that happens to be delivered full screen in high definition on telly. And you should approach it like you would any other digital campaign, which is to plan it, to execute it, to evaluate it with our help if needed, and to go again with a constantly refined campaign strategy. So AdSmart really is the best of both worlds, and it is the power of TV enhanced. So again, thank you, welcome, have a great day.